What's up, YouTubians? Gary, VWJawbreaker. Welcome to a chilly, that's right, I said chilly, Florida morning, where it's currently 49 degrees at 9:15 in the morning. I actually had to wait a little while to come out here and record because it was chilly. It's not like typical Florida weather. Anyway, today's video, we're gonna kind of dive into a lot of things I've done off camera to Lulu. Lulu is the 1976 Volkswagen Bus that we've had on the channel now for a little while. And well, as you know, life gets busy and there's some things that I just have to do off camera between work and the kids and dad and everything else. I just don't really have the time to always come out here and record, but I need to get things done. So sit back, relax. I'm trying to answer some questions that I've been getting over the last few months. Let's dive into this. So one of the things I did a while back, and if you want to stay more up to date, follow me on Instagram. That's where I try to keep things up to date, and other random stuff on there as well. The passenger side of Lulu up top here, she was rotted out. So we ended up having to take the door off, take the top off here, and we cut it from about here all the way up down to about here, and about 6 inches, 8 inches up on the roof, and replaced this entire front piece right here. Because like I said, she was gone. And she turned out pretty good, you know, still in primer on the inside, painted on the outside. And that's one of the reasons that I decided to paint the upper half black. Lower half, well, we still have some work to do, but the front side is done for the most part now. Lower dog legs have been replaced, and those were pretty rotted. So we got both sides done. So basically the entire passenger side of the bus is now done. Driver's side, that's a whole nother story. I may suck it up and actually pay a friend to do the driver's side, because the driver's side is pretty much kind of cheesy from here all the way back to about there. And it's mostly the drip rail, but it goes up in a little bit, and you know, I may just have a friend help me out with that. You know, take it over there and then go over there, and between the two of us we can knock it out, because that's a big project. But at least the passenger side's done, and at least, you know, the lower dog legs are done. I had to make some patch panels for down in there. Got that stuff all wrapped up. Now the issue is rear wells, butt cheeks, rear valance back here behind the deck lid bumper area. We still got to nail all that out, and unfortunately that's going to be a little while before we can that metal's not cheap, and I don't have the kind of tools here to be able to make those kind of fancy curves and bends and all that stuff. I don't have shrink or stretchers. I mean, I just do everything out of a basic 2-car garage, so I don't have a lot of those metal working fabrication tools. Fortunately, that's going to be a little while. But then, once the metal work is done, I'll try to record if I have the time for that stuff. It'll be sometime later next year. But then, we will no longer have a two-tone bus like this. Let me get over here. Stupid lighting this morning. What we'll do is I'm going to leave the top black. I really love the factory green. But we're actually going to probably bed line from that line down and keep it all green. My wish list, again, don't know if that's going to be recorded or not, but I want to refab all of this. I want to make custom cabinets and stuff in here, make it a little bit smaller. On the bay windows, you know, this kicks out because of the water tank and all that stuff, and the kitchen up top, that's just kind of the way that is. However, on a Vanagon, this does not jet out, so you have more space in a Vanagon. But you don't want to put Vanagon stuff in a bay, so probably gonna reconstruct all of this with the help of a friend. So that'll be fun. But then I'll be able to custom stain it and make it match everything a little bit better. What do you mean make things match better? Well, I had somebody ask me about the door cards and also the front kick panel and all that. This is actually like a 4x8 sheet of paneling that I cut down. It's got the nice grays to it. It turns out nice. I was able to do those upper filler pieces and then also above the bed here. So everything kind of really ties in and matches. I don't know, I like it better, it looks better. Oh, somebody asked me about the stereo. So that is an Ototo X10 series. It's I think a 7-inch infotainment system. So that thing gives you your GPS, or not GPS, that thing will give you maps and all kinds of gizmos, gadgets, stream music. And I'm just using that stock head unit to then push a couple of speakers down here. So I've got a speaker down there in the kick panel, speaker on the door. I got a tweeter right in there. And then recently I had the great idea, let's build a center console. And the center console works really well. Got storage up top. The lower part was supposed to be a subwoofer box. Didn't quite pan out the way I wanted. So we went the cheap route and I got an under-seat 8-inch powered subwoofer that you'd normally put like in a car and just slide underneath the seat. That actually hits pretty decent. I'm not looking for, you know, major boom booms and all that jazz. I'm looking for something, you know, just to help give it a little amplified experience, if you will. A little while back, we put on the 200-watt solar panel. That thing's been kicking butt. It really has. But then I realized I didn't need the 100-watt panel that was up here. So you notice I've kind of got some junction wires, and that comes over to an SAE plug here on the side. So this allows me to turn off, now let me show you. I've got a portable 100-watt solar panel. So that allows me to then turn the power off to the 200-watt, turn the power on to the 100-watt, and still run it off the same BougeRV controller right there. You know, you don't want to run two different ones. Let's say I park in the shade, you know, and the pop's topped or whatever, and the sun's facing the other direction. I can just turn this panel off because, you know, I'm not going to need it, and kick the other panel on, and I can 40 feet away over there somewhere put my 100-watt panel. Now, is my 100-watt panel really needed? Not really, because down in here we are running a LiTime 165 amp hour Bluetooth Group 31 battery. Fits perfect down in there. It's yeah, more than I need. Plus I've got their 40 amp DC to DC charger. The little jumper wire right there actually throttles it back to 20 amps. So it charges my battery at 20 amps. It's more than enough to last several days running the fridge and the lights and even the diesel heater if I want. So oh, and how can I forget this? One of the other things we've done is, if you remember back when we first brought Lulu home, she was lowered, and she was lowered pretty good. So, you know, we did that one video of unlowering her where we went ahead and raised her back up to stock height. And that's when I found out that the front beam was missing leaves in the front, and top and bottom. So she still had a slight rake to her. Luckily, the previous owner, my good buddy, found the leaves that were he removed, and I went ahead and removed everything and greased them up and put those back in. So now she's properly sitting level, stock height. Speaking of that, these are a 15-inch Mercedes rims. They've got studs. You have to actually drill out the center a little bit for the stud to go through. And these tires are a 205/70/15. Could have went a little bit, I could definitely have gone bigger, but definitely big enough for what we're trying to do here. Not trying to go off-road and do all this other stuff. Just trying to give it a good heavy-duty stance, look a little different and be a little different, right? I mean, that's kind of why I enjoy having Volkswagens. You can make them your own. Oh, and one of the other things I had to do back before we did that big 900-mile trip up to almost Pensacola and back is I had to pull the motor. That was fun. Type 4s are very heavy, especially considering it's not a Type 1. Type 4 is a lot heavier, which I know, but you don't do it for a while, you kind of forget. We had to pull the motor out. The clutch started slipping, had to put a clutch in, had a massive oil leak, found that issue, fixed that, freshened up the tins and whatnot, got her back in there. She's been doing amazing. The exhaust that we put on does great, sounds good outside the bus, not too loud at all when you're inside cruising. Actually, it's barely even louder than stock. It's a win-win for me. And she actually runs better with that exhaust. It's not so restrictive. So if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. Let me know down in the comments down below. I'll try to answer them. And again, I know this is just kind of a quick little go over things. Oh, wait, there's more. I also tinted the windows. Didn't do the front yet, but the side windows, the back, and actually you can see here, I can't reach because the cabinet's right here. That is a 5% ceramic tint to help keep the heat out. So yeah, good luck looking in. Barely. She dark. She really dark. But that definitely does help, especially down here in the summer when, you know, it can be warm during the day and then cool at night, or ish cool. But oh yeah, went camping another time, and the little portable AC unit I used to put between the seats, it took a crap. So I just bought a cheap little window unit, fabric cobbled up a board that goes into the window. I'll put a couple pictures up, and yeah, I can run that off a generator. I've got a little 3,000 watt inverter generator, and I can actually keep that thing on the eco mode, and she'll sit there and just putt all night long and won't even hardly kick up any RPMs. It's quite nice. Doesn't draw a whole lot of power for being a window unit. It's only 5,000 or 6,000 BTU. So anyway, like I said, if you have questions, drop them down below. If there's certain things that you want to see, let me know down below, and I'll do my best to try to get out here and record a little bit more. Hopefully time will free up after the first of the year. Hopefully. I highly doubt it, but you never know. We can only hope and wish, right? Till the next time, guys, be kind to one another and be good.